Jen, also known as Quirks and Stitches. I feel like I keep doing this. I keep saying I'm going to be back and I'm going to be filming more regularly, and then a month goes by and I haven't filmed, and I have so much to show you, to talk about. My table is filled with stuff, guys. It's a little ridiculous. I made a list, and I don't always do the best when I have a list that I want to share, but, you know, there was no way keeping all of this in my head was going to happen. None. It's a lazy Sunday here. I tweaked my back out yesterday. I don't know what I did, but I was folding linen after cutting for a start that I'll talk about later. And it was like excruciating. So we kept it pretty low key this weekend, and was like, I'm just coziest of clothes, and I'm going to film and hopefully not tweak my back out when I show you all of the projects that I have to hold up in front of the camera. So got a cup of tea today. Last time I filmed, I realized that my mug was facing the wrong direction. I really don't like it when there isn't writing on both sides, because I like the writing to face me. That's why I pick the mugs, is what they say on them, and then it doesn't always face out. And my mom's like, use the plain mug? That's not like you. And I'm like, no, it's not. It was clever, but you didn't see it, so sorry. I have some tea today because my throat is a little bit, I don't know, maybe I'm coming down with something. Not sure. Anyway, not important. It is June 2nd? Yes, June 2nd. So, officially done with Maynia, so I have that to talk about. It is, that was a crazy month. May was insane for me. So first of all, let me just tell you guys all, thank you so much for your comments about Pandemonium. If you follow me on Instagram or, see me other places, you know that we did have to say goodbye, and it sucked a lot. But she is better now, so I'm not gonna cry, and I'm not gonna talk about it too much, because just need to let it be. But it's been, kind of an adjustment, learning what life is like without her here. Mayhem is a little monster most of the time. See, not gonna cry, just putting the tears away. Mayhem is a monster most of the time. That is what I call her affectionately, monster cat, evil, all of those things, because she does live up to those names. However, I will say that I think not having Pandy's alpha cat persona around is mellowing her, maybe. we're hoping. But it was really hard, and it's going to be really hard for a long time, but my animals are resilient, and they have been bringing more comfort and whatnot, and you guys have been awesome. So I also want to apologize. Last video that I really filmed, other than the 24 update video, I talked, we were doing the giveaway for the 2 bags for the 2,000 subscribers, and I asked you guys to tell me your quirks, and I was so excited reading them, and I was gearing up to respond, because so many of them were quirks that I have too. They were so funny to read, but because the timing fell right when Pandy we were hoping things were going to perk up, everyone was writing things about her too, and I just couldn't have to respond to everybody, thanks, but she's gone. So I didn't. I went through and tried to like everyone's, and please know that I did read them, but I do like to put a personalized comment on things, and so I'm sorry that I didn't go back and do that. So thank you for your thoughts. Thank you for my prayers, or your prayers. They worked. She's better now. So we have her ashes here and a little paw print that we can look at and see, and there's some memorial stuff that I've got in the works for her too. So thank you for your thoughts and everything with her. It is one of the reasons why I haven't filmed. So, but I'm better now. So we're getting back into routine. Watson's behind me currently, and Mayhem is somewhere. I don't know. She's all over the place now. She plays constantly. She lays and cuddles with me, and she licks me all the time. I think she must have groomed Pandy a lot more than I realized, because I think she misses that action. So I've become her groom buddy. I'm putting the tea down, and I'm not going to continue to drink it the entire filming. Too much to talk about. So there's that. I did want to let you know the winners of the giveaway have been announced, and I have responded. I have contacted the winners of the giveaway, and I will read you their comments because the quirks were fantastic. So give me 1 second. I just used random comment picker YouTube thing, and so it was the first 2 that I picked that gave me a quirk. So the first one that came up was Senorita Stitches, and her quirk was one of my quirks is ice. Ice is big in my life. Must have ice. If I have milk, it has to have ice in it. I'm a huge ice fan. I was because I was anemic, but so watch that ice consumption, because if you start chewing it obsessively, it might mean that you need to get some iron. It did for me, but I know which places have the best ice, and my staff at my old job, my staff members would go if I was having a bad day and get me a huge cup of ice, one of like the 64 ounces from Wawa, and it was it was only one Wawa that had the right ice, but I get it. Ice is my thing, except not now because my teeth are terrible and super, super sensitive, and I can't eat ice anymore. Makes me sad, but my iron must be okay. And then the second winner was Lizzie Fernandez. Lizzie joined me with Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, and so I'm super excited that she's going to get a bag, and she's letting me pick out what kind it is. So Senorita Stitches, please contact me. I did send you a comment, and I think I found you on Instagram too. So either email me or shoot me a comment on Instagram about what type of style theme you are looking for a project bag, and I'll get something in the mail to you. Lizzie's quirk was that she won't eat reheated chicken. She'll eat any other kind of leftover except chicken. It always tastes weird to me. I'm super picky about chicken. Like I will not order chicken at a restaurant. I can't do it because unless it's like chicken tenders. Chicken tenders are usually safe, but if I get a bad bite of chicken, I'm done. Like I can't do it anymore. And I'm so much like, even eating it at home, like I'll look at Brandon and he'll be like, "What's wrong with it?" I'm like, "Well, like it's going the wrong way." I don't even know what that means. Like, but the direction of like how when you cut it, if there's like I don't know. I get it. Can't do it. I'm not a huge chicken person. I like steak. Probably another anemia thing because I need to have more iron and I crave red meat constantly. So those were our winners, and I've got some more giveaways coming up, things like that, so stay tuned for this video because I have something for here. We've got 24-hour stuff. It's just been a crazy month keeping up with everybody and keeping up with everything that's going on. I keep just feeling like my life has a lot of unknown right now, and I think that this community and this kind of facet of release for me has been so crucial during this time because you've kind of been a stable factor. So I can't thank you guys enough for being that for me right now. It's just, there's been a lot of change. And so but guys, I have a whole list. So far I've done 2. I have a whole bunch more though, and I don't know what order I want to go in. So I might be skipping around a bit, and I don't like it when I have lists because I feel like I ramble anyway, but I feel like it like makes me try to like ramble in an order, and then I don't like that. So been doing a lot of stitching. For Maynia, I started 50 projects, 50 by 50 or less, because I was not going to, you see all my stuff. Like, I have so many things going that I didn't want to start really big projects. And I say this every time, I did want to start really big projects, but I limited myself. I needed to just focus on getting some of the things I have done. So I did 50 starts, but I didn't only stitch on Maynia things. I keep a calendar of my stitching, and on a normal month, before I really took off with everything, this was kind of like what it would look like. Like, I worked on one project a day. I, had days I didn't stitch. Like, it was, that's pretty typical for me. February, it started to get a little bit more like, okay, I'm starting things and I'm doing different projects on a day. I was trying to finish up all the things from the first 24 take one. March I was back to my project today because it was Stitch Madness and I was starting a new thing. They're in a different color because I was going to... There's a reason. It's not really important, but there's a reason. Let me get into April when I started joining like the challenge groups, and it's like, you know, I just started stitching on a bunch of things, and then I started joining Sal's and doing that kind of stuff too, so I had to make sure that I noted that. Well, then May happened. Guys, this is insane how much I jumped around and how much I stitched. And, you know, I try to keep track of my finishes, try to keep track of when I'm starting things. Obviously, this was Maynia, so they were all starts, so I didn't want to waste time on starting. But, like, I was doing so much project jumping, which is not normal for me. Like, I'm usually, I mean, I jump projects. I like to have a bunch of different things going on, but usually... I had been like once a day. I would just, you know, the next day I would pick up something new. I'm doing like 50 things a day. I don't even know. Like I stitch upstairs, I stitch downstairs. I don't even know how to keep my stuff in order. Like, you know, I'm in a few challenge groups. I'm making my own challenges now because clearly I need more things to stitch. And I was still doing my Tiny Decisions spin rotation thing and trying to get through that. So it's just been a crazy month. I think my head has been a little clouded trying to keep it all straight. But between this and having my record of that, and then I also go daily, and it's just for me. Like nobody else really cares about this kind of stuff. But each day then I write down what I stitched, why I was stitching it, and then like my total stitch count. And then I've started tracking time too because I was curious to see how it shifts, because some projects my time is like pretty consistent, like if it's a project like my stitch count matches, like in about half an hour I can do about 200 stitches typically. But it's been interesting to see like how a more detailed project takes longer, or if it's just fill in, I can do more. So I like to analyze this kind of stuff. Not really sure why. I don't do anything with the results or the data or anything like that, but I like to keep track. So I did my 50 starts. I'm going to show you, and I'll go through with what I started. I have it listed on a highlights reel in my Instagram too. And those go in order through the month. I'm not going to show you in order because I kind of skipped all around. But yeah, I started 50. And I think I finished 15 of them, which you'll see, like, I started strong and was like, I'm going to work on these things till I finish them. And then by the end of the month, I'm putting like 50 stitches on, because that was my goal originally. Was I was only going to work on them for 50 stitches, and then I was going to, you know, say they could get put away. But then I was like, I really don't want all of these projects. I want to have some more finished things. So I was trying, but I gave up because, you know, I'm doing these challenges and I want to make sure that it's all crazy. But you guys get it, because I can't tell you how many of you are joining in with my 24-hour challenge. It is so much fun to watch, and we'll talk about that. I'll show you my plans. I am so excited about stitching these things with you, and your connections have been hysterical. Those of you that haven't seen, we're doing an acrostic challenge for 24 hours, and there's different challenge goals that you can try to meet, and you had to connect a project to each of the letters in 24. Someone used the O to be like, oh no new projects. Not starting anything new. I'm going to work on a whip. That's brilliant. That's so cool. There was someone that wrote an acrostic, like I should have printed it out to do here, but I'm working on getting it charted up, because it's this brilliant acrostic about stitching for 24 hours, and it's just phenomenal. So I asked her if I could chart it, and I'm going to try my hand at that. And because you guys you're so creative in ways that I am not. And it's been so much fun to see all that kind of coming through. But these challenges are like messing with my head, because I really like to do them, and I don't like to leave any undone. So I've been jumping projects, every stitch counts type thing, and you know, it's good. But I'm still finishing things, and I think that's That's good. So let's talk Stitch Mania. I'm going to just dive right in and show you what I did for the month. I kept track of my stuff in this CrossStitch journal that the Fat Quarter Shop sent over to me. It is fantastic. It is awesome. I think I talked about it briefly in my last video. I will link where you can purchase this because it's really, it's a great way to keep track, and they give you little spots for all of your stuff. So they're in the list. At the beginning, it starts with like a stitchy list where you can list all the projects that are in there. I will go back and do that. I just haven't had a chance yet. But each page is a different project, and so it has a spot for the project name, the designer, the start date, end date, what you're stitching it on, the stitch count, the stitch size, what floss you're using, your time, and any notes. And so at the start of the month, I wasn't tracking my time, so I was just recording my stitches, but towards the end of the month, I am. So I'm recording that as well. I love that I have a spot, and this has 50 projects in it, so it was perfect for my Maynia, that I can, you know, just keep as a record of what I did this month, and you know, all of these pieces kind of kept together. So it also in the back has like a thread inventory if you want to keep track of what threads you're using, and then a note section. And it's, like I said, I think I said it in my last video, it's a really good quality paper. I highly recommend it. I will link the shop below. I am a sucker for journals. I think I have 8 ready to go for, I think I have 2 that don't start till August, and I have 1 that starts in, no, I have like 5 that start in July, because I get them from TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and I'm always scared that if I don't pick it up right then, it won't be there, and pretty much if I mess up a journal, I have to stop writing in it, so I like to have backups. But my goal is that I will stop recording things in this notebook. And these are also from TJ Maxx, and they are phenomenal notebooks. Great paper. Fantastic. You should pick them up. I have like 40 of them. Probably like 8 really, but I keep buying them when I go. But I'm going to do this in like a planner so that it's separated by day. And I keep it, you know, each page that I've been doing is a week. And then I total like my stitch count at the end of the week so I can see if I had like a productive week or a not so productive week. I stitch a lot. It's been interesting doing the time though too, because I'm more specific with my time. Like I use a timer app. Let me show you that. I'll link all this stuff below too. I use my iPad, and I picked up this app called Timer Plus. And I really like it because it lets you run multiple timers at once. And so you'll see I have 2 running for today. So the ones in black are the ones that are counting up. And I've been doing, you know, those are 2 that I worked on today that I'll talk about in a little bit. But the one in white is a 30-minute countdown timer, because I'm in a group that does encourages you to stitch on something for 30 minutes a day. And so I can set it, and it beeps, and it tells me my time is done. But I'm trying to be like specific with this. Like if I stop stitching to check Instagram or to, you know, be on Facebook or do that kind of stuff, I stop my timer, because I could be sitting to stitch for 3 hours, but I'm not really stitching that long. So I'm going to run it. I'm going to do one of these during the 24 hours. And my goal during the 48 hours, I think, is to actually get 24 hours of stitching. Because I definitely haven't done that any of the other times, because I work for the episode and then of 24, and then I move on to something else. Like I film or I do things. I'm not going to talk a lot about the 24 marathon in this. I'm planning to come back on maybe Tuesday, because it's coming up like this weekend, because today is the 2nd and it is Friday. And we've been kind of overwhelmed with the challenge. I probably shouldn't have released the challenge during a marathon month, because it's been a little confusing for people. Like, do I have to stitch on the acrostic during the marathon? No, you don't. Like, no, that they're totally unrelated things. You can, like, if you want to get through your challenge, but the challenge runs for the whole month. The marathon is just the weekend. Make sense? I don't know. I'm trying. There's a fact sheet up in the Facebook group now. Trying to, so if there's more questions, just let me know and I will update it. Just trying to keep it kind of all as organized as I can, which comes and goes. I had said like 5 minutes ago I was going to show you my Maynia starts, and then I still haven't. So let's talk Maynia. Some of these were continuations from the first 24 hours where I started 24 quote unquote smalls that weren't really smalls, and it took me all month to finish them. And so for 24, I started this corner. I really can't do this backwards camera thing. I did the fall block in this, and they're together in this picture, like they're all framed together. I'm doing them individually, and I did fall on 40 count lambswool. And so I wanted to go back and do spring, summer, and winter so that I had the full set. And those were my first 3 starts, and I did get finishes on those. I think I showed these last time, but I couldn't remember, and I just figured I'd pull them out. So I did them all on the same piece of lambswool because they're so tiny. I have no idea how I'm finishing this stuff. My mom's gonna help me. So I've got summer, spring, winter. 3 knocked out. They're done. I don't know where to put anything. I also started during my 24 hours this whale for Stranded Jacks. I love this series. And so that was done on this piece of 40 count sand dune, I think. So for 24 hours I did the pumpkin and the boat, and I got him finished. I also did the mermaid, and I think she's finished. This piece is 40 count Days Gone By. I think it's by Silkweaver. It's what I'm stitching Life After Death on. This down here is the start for this anchor block, and it's full coverage, so that one's going to take me a little bit longer. And then this over here there is the start for the pumpkin. So I have the whole series started, and you know, it was hard for me not to stitch them all on the exact same piece of fabric, but I realized they don't really have to be. They're not, you know, they'll probably be displayed together, but those fabrics are pretty similar anyway. I worked on Boo Moon, and so for 24 hours I did the cat, and so I wanted to start the rest of the series. So I did the cat on 36 count Murky. So here are the rest of them. This is the skeleton with the keys down there. Got a little bit done on him. This one I got to finish, and this is the owl. The owl and the moon in the middle. That one was a little bit smaller than the rest of them. This is my start on the owl. This is the start on the house down in this corner right there. This one is the cityscape up in the top over here. These I think are going to be like I'm stitching out on the porch. I only need 2 colors pretty much to stitch on these, and it's not like in-depth stitching, so if I'm having a glass of wine or something out on the porch and want something with me. Or maybe like my in my purse project. This is the scarecrow. This is the bat down in this corner. And this is the witch. So I'm really glad. I've had this pattern for forever, so I'm really glad to have them started. I keep them all in the same project bag, and like I said, I think it's going to be my on-the-go project, so I'm going to see if my mom can maybe make me a smaller one. I love to show you guys what project bags I'm keeping things in, but I literally, with these 50 starts and all of the other things I want to show today, I didn't even pull project bags out. I will update you on our project bag, Mayhem, Mania, all of the chaos words that you can think of that is happening upstairs in a bit. I need a sip of water. Christmas Triplets by Heart and Hand. Again, I've had this one forever, and it's not my total style, but I thought they're really cute. And I'm doing them all. It was like a scrap piece of linen I found in my mom's stash. So they're all here. So this was the start on Fa La La. This one is Mary. And then down in the bottom I've got the start on Holly Jolly. I didn't space my stuff very well. Tends to be a problem of mine. So we'll see if Holly Jolly has enough room. And I skipped a row in Fa La La. Or I added a row. I think I skipped a row. And I was like, I'm not tearing this out. Nobody's gonna like sit with the two of them next to each other and go, shouldn't these be the same stitch count? They should be, they're just not. This one I picked up, it's Mani Di Donna. I don't know how to say things if I've not heard them before, so we'll see if I said that right. I don't do a whole lot of patriotic, but it's growing on me. So I wanted to start down here with this little thread keep. It's a little house with a flag, and it says America. I don't think I'm actually going to do the writing. I think I'm just going to do it as the house with the flag. And I got to here on it. It's some sort of 36 count. I don't know what fabric it is. I just raided my stash and used as much up as I could. So yeah, it's super cute. It's a nice little house. I'm using the called for colors for it, and then I didn't have a color upstairs or something, which was why I stopped where I was. And then I like the whole image. I think I originally thought that there was a whale in this. I just didn't look close enough to see that there isn't, but there's a boat and a lighthouse, and I like both of those things. I like nautical if it's like kind of primitive nautical. I don't like kitschy nautical. It's got to be kind of dark for me to like gravitate towards it. But I really like that piece, so I think eventually I will go back and do that. I'm not going to do it as like a sewing box. I never finish things the way you're supposed to finish them, or they tell you to finish them. It's one of the ways that I individualize my stitching, I guess. This is another one I had in my stash for a really long time, the Christmas cubes. And when I picked, so I did the 50 starts, and obviously this is, I'm only considering this one real project. So like when I update my whip wall, which is totally needing to be updated, this is only going to count as one, but each block is going to need to be finished individually. So I felt like for the, I don't know what word I was trying to say, for the intentions of meeting 50 starts, I felt like I was justifying it by each start was its own individual thing if I had to finish it individually. So that's why I think this is okay. Nobody made these rules. I made these rules. I do this to myself. So I started these. I'm not going to finish these as blocks. I'm going to probably do them as pillows or something of that nature. But they're really cute, and I used the scrap I had left over from Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, and so it's a 36 Autumn Gold, I think, Lakeside. So this is C. I finished it, and then I realized I didn't put the little bottom part in the bells, so I'll have to go in. There's 2 stitches, but I was kept waiting to have that color thread come up when I was working on one of the other ones, and it never did, so I haven't finished it yet. This is the H. Really like the font on the letters in these, and they're not all in the same place, so it's like, I don't know, I think they're really cute. R, I's not there yet. S, the S is also not there. This was a hat, Santa hat. It does throw me a little bit that the item that I'm stitching is not in the letter that I'm stitching, but T. This one's upside down because I started it upside down. I do that sometimes. I will flip my piece over and start that way because it was easier to start up there and count down than start there. Tricks of the trade. M. I don't know what I have. A. I love houses. So got to start on those. You know, I'm excited. These again are, I think, projects I could take with me. There, you know, not many that floss colors. It's pretty simplistic stitching. There's a little bit more tracking in those than there is in like the Prairie Schooler stuff, but you know, it's good. Just kind of on the go. I stitch so many big things that it's nice to have some projects that are just going to be little and easy to finish. I was at the Craft Gallery for a meetup, and I met up with Michelle and Tina and Rachel, a whole bunch of people. And I was like, I was one project short because I don't know why I was one project short. And she had this, and she's like, I'll loan it to you. You can stitch it. And it's a beehive. I love beehives. Lizzie and Kate I go back and forth on, but this one I like. I'm doing my own thread conversion because I went to sit down, and it was like the last day before the last day of Maynia, and I was like, I haven't pulled threads, I haven't made a thread card, I haven't done any of those things, so I'm winging it completely and just pulling from my stash of that basket over there full of DMC that is painful to look at. So that needs to be sorted and put away. So I started this. It is, I will say I'm cheating a little bit because it is by 51. Doesn't really fall in my parameters. But this bottom row I'm going to condense, and it's not going to be zigzagged. It's just going to be straight. So it's going to be 50 by 50 when I finish with it. I'm doing this on a scrap piece of Fog, I think, by Picture This Plus. And I stitched it and I started it, and then I realized if I would have turned the fabric this way, it would have used this piece much more spatially. I wouldn't be wasting as much. So I may rip out and start over because I only got like 60 stitches in on this, because I think this fabric will be good for a lot of other things. I'm doing a crow's lullaby on it, so it was scrapped from that. Don't have the pattern for this one. I couldn't find it in my mess of stuff. But this is a pumpkin trio, and it's by Heart and Hand, and it's in a little, it's a booklet called Pumpkins Galore, I think. And it's really cute. It has like 3 different pumpkins next to each other. I'm doing a thread conversion. I just pulled from my stash. One of the things I didn't want to do with starting all these things was make myself go out and buy all the called for floss. So if I could, I didn't. You know, if I could figure out a conversion, that's what I did. So this is just my own conversion. I'm stitching this on a 40 count Lambswool. I will write down in the description all of the projects I'm doing and the patterns that they are in, as well as I will try to do what fabric I'm doing them on, but a lot of this was just stash pull. Yeah. This is a freebie by Prairie Schooler. It is called Hoo Hoo. So I don't have the pattern in front of me, but if you Google it, you can find it. I might be able to find the link and link it below. Super cute little owl. 36 Country Mocha. Leftover from Needlework ABCs. This is, okay, so this begins my pile of just cross-stitch Christmas ornaments. On my Instagram feed in the highlight reel, I do have pictures of the picture of the pattern, like so that you can see what it's going to look like. I didn't pull those all down because it was just a lot to have to kind of get gathered today, and really honestly guys, my table is full enough. But they're there. I will link below what edition each of these are in. This is Winter Squirrel. I don't remember the designer off the top of my head, and I don't think I have it written down in my notebook, or I would look right now. But it's Winter Squirrel, and it's super cute. Like it goes in a little wreath, and it kind of looks like a squirrel. Like that's the head and the arm and stuff. So I promise it's a squirrel. They did have, I think there's a deer in the same series that I'll probably do up. This is 36 count Dove by Weeks Dye Works, leftover from Go Load. This is Blue House in Winter. Again, Little House maybe? I think it might be Little House. Again, I pulled random colors. I didn't go with what they called for. This is Peppermint Latte on a piece of scrap that I dug up in my mom's stash. This is by Casey, something with a B. I did her St. Patrick's Day Irish Cream Latte sampler. That's super cute. I don't think she's designing anymore, but she has a hot chocolate one that I'm on the lookout for too, because it's cute and Brandon drinks hot chocolate and it would go well on my little coffee wall that I will have someday. This is Snowy Nights by Prairie Schooler. Doing this on 46. No, not 46. I haven't tried 46. I have a piece to try, but I haven't done it yet. This is on 40 count Lambswool. I really like most of the Prairie Schooler stuff they call to stitch on Lambswool, but they call it for it on 32 count. I really like how the stuff looks on 40. Although I saw the picture, like I was working off of like my working copies before when I was pulling all this stuff. I swear to you guys, I will eventually get a pattern organizational video. It's just I'm in the process of changing how I'm doing it, so I don't want to do it until I have everything organized. But the long story short is I scan things and I keep files for them, and then you can see over there are binders that I print out my working copies, and in the magazine holders are most of my originals. However, a lot of them are upstairs now too. So I'm just a mess with things. I'm organized, but you see a very select version of what I want you to see. So I'm not probably as organized as you think I am. I'm organized in this aspect of my life. My bedroom, let's not even talk about. But I was surprised when I pulled out the magazine and I was looking at the actual picture and I was like, why did I stitch this? Like, it's cute. Like, it has a little reindeer in it. And I was like, I have no idea why this is one of the ones that I was like, yes, let's stitch. Probably because it was 50 or 50 or under and I was running out of those. This one I did manage to finish on. I worked on it a couple days because the challenge was I was able to finish it for challenge stitches. This is Redbird. I don't remember who it's by. I will link it below. I thought it was cute though, and I think it's called for DMC. This one is either called the Majestic Bird or Noel, and I believe it's Homespun Elegance. I don't remember. It has the words Noel on the bottom of it, and so in my head I keep calling it Noel, but I keep seeing on my list of things this project called Majestic Bird. This is the only one that could remotely fit that, so I think it must be this. I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count, some sort of scrap that I had left over, and I just did a random pull, so it was like it only called for a red and a green, so I found a red and I found a green. This one I think is really cute. This is Peace Bird by Rosewood Manor. Got a finish on him. Some sort of scrap. I think it's what I'm doing the Fa La La and the Christmas triplets on. This one is Mary, and this is Miss Crescent's Crown. When I first got back into cross-stitching, this piece I set to do for everyone as Christmas presents. You can see, first got into cross-stitching. This is back like when I met Brandon, which was 9 years ago today. We went on our first date 9 years ago, June 2nd. Then we got married October 26th. Weren't wasting any time. So, but it was sometime in that era because I got all the supplies for it at CrossStitch Station in Waynesboro, Virginia. And it's on, I think it's a Weeks Dye Works linen. I don't know. I just did random colors. There's a really cute like snowman button that I have somewhere. I just don't know where. This was a little start on Black Cat and a Santa Hat by the Stitcher Hood. It's a really pink. I'm using called for DMCs for it, which I think is what it was charted in. I probably should have changed it because I don't really love pink. I do love, I go back and forth with pink, but it's a little bit, it's not Christmas to me, so I don't know why it's this color. I'm stitching it on 35 count mink. And this one is not, goes that way. Blue Snowman, I think it's by the Little Stitcher, and it has some like little bluebirds in it. It's really cute. Also on 35 count mink. And then I also started a bunch of the Heartstring Samplery Fobs. I love this series. I will own them all. I don't have quite all of them yet, but I wanted to try to only start one from each series. So I did. I didn't double dip in any of them. I did buy called for colors for these because I figure eventually I'm going to want to stitch all of the fobs. So I just keep them all. I have them in like 2 project bags all together so that I have the floss that's needed for all of the projects. This was my start on the tea one, so it's like 4 little teacups that'll go in a circle and put initials in the middle of it. Brandon and I started drinking tea at night before going to bed, so I thought it was cute. This one I probably screwed up when I cut it off, the tea one, because I didn't cut very straight, so I'm hoping I can still salvage it. This was from the Stitching Fob. And I did realize, I was counting this as a finish, but I did realize in the example sheet, or on the picture pattern, this is filled in with the colors to make it look more like linen. So I'll probably go back and do that, but that won't take very long. I finished the coffee one and the bee one. The bee one I think is so cute. This is the little whale in the bottle, which, oh my goodness, I love that. And then this is the pumpkin over where? Over here. Can't do this backwards, guys. The little pumpkin one from the autumn one, or fall, one of those words. And these are on Old Mill Java by R&R. And then last I got a start on the spring. The Valentine, I did change the color of the red because I didn't have one of the reds. It was for the pink, but I was like, it can be red. So I did that. And then my favorite one is the Woodland, which was my start on the foxes. So this is on Weeks Dye Work Parchment, I think. So that was Mania. I got a lot done. I'm pretty happy with my progress. I'm glad I was able to do it. Thank you, Allison, for spurring me on. Eventually I'll have these things like finished in my house and, you know, like used as like decorative whatnot. I think Mayhem will be okay with them. She has a tendency to eat things. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to switch gears for a minute and just say thank you to some of you people. All of you people. Thank you, everyone, for watching. But I did have some people reach out and just send some, like, happy stitching goodness. I need a catchphrase for what people are sending me. So I wanted to just thank you and share a little bit about some of the stuff I've gotten in the mail. I am blown away every time. Every time. Like, you guys, this community is just astounding to me. Before the last video, I had actually received this and I left it upstairs, so I forgot to mention it. Diana, it is Kismet. I'm going to be talking about you in a little bit when I share about the Sal. You are amazing. Like, if you're not watching Diana, check her out. She is incredible, and she just has, like, the most generous heart. Like, she's a great person. So she found Amos and Tilly Fig for me. I'm doing the exemplary series, and I was just blown away. She messaged me and she's like, do you have these? And I was like, no. She's like, okay, give me your address. And Tilly is on loan right now, so Tilly will be coming back to me, but I am so excited to stitch these. Amos was my first car's name. I had a little Ford Focus, and I have a Ford Focus again now, which I hate that I have the same car that I had as my first car, but it was like one of those hatchbacky ones, and it was like bright blue, and I had cow seat covers, and Amos means the carrier of burden, which I thought was perfect for my first car. And then it was crashed, somebody rear-ended me. I kept getting rear-ended all the time, and totaled on its 7th birthday. But so I love Amos. It has the connection. And then Tilly was my dad's grandmother, I think. So I like, or no, dog. Tilly? I don't know. I don't remember now. I'm totally second guessing myself. They had a dog, and I can't remember what the name of the dog was, and now it begins with a T too, but I think Tilly was the relative, not the dog. Either way, there was a connection, and I was excited about it. So thank you, Diana. That was so nice. She sent a card over too. Just thanks. Ramona, again, you blew me away. You did not need to send this stuff. It's so appreciative. Like, I can't even. She found a Noah's Ark pattern for my mom, and it's one my mom doesn't have. And this Judaic stitching that one of my best friends is practicing Judaism at this time. I mean, I'm Jewish, but I don't practice. We've talked about that. But I want to stitch her something for her, because I've never stitched her anything. I don't know how that's possible that I've never stitched her anything. So she sent over the patterns. She sent over linen that someone was cleaning out their stash, and so she thought of me and just sent over linen. So I have more for my stash because I've depleted it all. And then she sent over the nicest little card and just kindest words and thinking of candy and everything. So stuff for project bags and scissors, and then some little cat fat quarters. So thank you so much, Ramona. Thank you. And then yesterday I came home and I had a package from Danielle, and we've been talking back and forth on Instagram and just both kind of commenting on how this community can be a support in ways that, I mean, I don't know. People in real life, like I talk about real life people, you guys get me more than real life people ever have. And so this community, stitching friends are the best friends. Like I can't say that enough. You guys. But anyway, we've been going back and forth with like what is happening in our lives and like the different struggles we're going through and our journeys, and just to be able to be a support to each other and anyone. And she sent me, I think is this the Autumn Tart by Plum Street? It's one of the old, like the tarts. And I've stitched, it's not Autumn, I've stitched Autumn. It's one, no, I stitched Old Biz. She sent me this, which is finished so cute with a little heart. And then it has, poor Jen for candy. So I'm keeping this up with Pandy's Ashes. And, you know, I've got a memorial piece that I'm working on for her too. But just that somebody thought, Danielle, like, thank you. And she sent the nicest letter. Like, I was like crying as I read it. And this beautiful crocheted shawl. The colors are stunning, and they're like totally me colors. So thank you so, so much. I can't wait for it to be a little cooler so I can wear it. It's freezing in our basement apartment all of the time, so it'll be a cuddle up shawl for me downstairs. And then we've been doing a lot at the craft gallery. So you've heard me talk about it. They're my LNS. I love being there. I love Paula. I love Carlton. They run stitching meetups. So they run stitching meetups on the third Thursday and the fourth Wednesday. And so we hadn't been. Like, my mom and I were like, why have we never done this? We should probably go and try and do this. And we had been there for something else. And one of the people that works there, Patty, had encouraged us to come and check it out. And so she watches the channel, and she's just, you know, telling us about what it was. And so we decided, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go Thursday. And it was so much fun. Like, I met so many amazing people. Deborah, we met out in Vermilion, and then here. I'm terrible with names. So there were so many people that were stitching that I know watch that. It's just fun. It's really nice to be able to connect people that are watching and in this community with everything. So Patty actually had a couple things for us too. So she has this really cute little needle book to keep needles in, and then a really cute little tissue thing that she gave us when we went. So thank you guys so much. There may be more that I have forgotten and put in other places. I haven't forgotten it. I just put things away. So thank you guys. Honestly, you don't have to do this. Like, really, I do not. But I am so appreciative for everything you guys do and thinking of me, and hope and know that I will return the favor somehow. Some way, I promise. I've been at Craft Gallery a lot. I've been picking up some haul. So I have some haul to show. God, I still have so much to talk about. I need to not wait so long in between filmings. So, Craft Gallery, between Craft Gallery and online, I'm not going to show all this. It's haul. You guys will see it at some point when I start stitching it. I did pick this one up at Craft Gallery, which is another one of the exemplary series. I don't think it's one of like the really crazy hard to find ones, but I was really excited that I found it. So, adding that to my stash, I picked up the Cardinal Points chart pack. My mom and I have looked at this several times, and those of you that watch know that I had started Death by CrossStitch because I was inspired by Emily's color choices. And I have all of this thread that my grandmother, who didn't stitch, she was did like embroidery and stuff, but I have her like old vintage DMC and things like that that I want to do something with. And so I was like, I'll be Emily for a little bit, and I'll do Death by CrossStitch, and then realized, I'm not Emily, I can't do it. It was too hard. I couldn't see the color changes. I couldn't pick good colors. I couldn't do it. And so we keep seeing this, thinking this would be a good use of Grandma's threads. It's this or the whale kit from Owl Forest, but it only comes as a kit, and you get thread with that one. So my goal is that I'm going to do this. I think it's going to be my September high tea start, because that was my grandma's birthday month. It's going to have it be October because that was the month she died, but I think I'd rather do a Halloween thing in October, and she'd get that. So I think September, I'm planning to do this for high tea, and I'll be changing the colors as I go and doing some. I don't know that I'll have enough of her colors to do them all, so I'll be using, I don't know, I'll have to plan it, but really excited to start this one. I'm a sucker for this coffee series, so I got the Coffee Saves Lives by Heartstring. Anything with coffee. Pick this one up. C Street Sampler's need has nothing to do with it. I never need to buy another pattern again. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to buy another pattern again. And then this one, I'm a sucker for anything birds of a feather. So this is a B1, Bitter Flower Sampler. There's more. It's scattered. I have piles that I like to get scanned so that I have them, and then So what have I been stitching other than Maynia stuff? I went through and I've been really good about keeping a basket of stuff that I want to show, but then I didn't film forever, so the basket got full. And I realized I had 50 starts that I want to show. I still want to show you what I'm planning to do for 24 hours. And I was like, I'm not going to pull all of these out. So I picked out some of the ones that I've done a little bit more on, and have a little bit more kind of going to show you. And then one new start that I did, because I did start 2, so I did my 50 starts for Maynia, but then I also started 2 other things in May. And this one is my Pandy Memorial one. So this is Cat on a Rug. It really, like, looking at it, I came home that Friday and was like, I need to stitch something for Pandy. I don't know. Didn't really have, and I was gonna do the cat one by Heartstrings, the something about every house needing a cat, and there's a lot of cats, but I didn't have the right threads, and I was like, I'm not gonna start this and then be upset that I started this. So I picked this one out because the cat shape is so Pandy. It's like the big ears, and then the coloring, like it's got, like she was a tortie, she had, her different kind of, and I was like, but I'm not gonna do the letters because the letters are a little too whimsical for me. They're not my style lettering. So what I did was I started it. I'm doing this on 36 count Malo by Picture This Plus. I'm using my own colors as I go. So I think the base of the body is Black Coffee by Classic Colorworks, I think. And I'm like trying to customize, but I don't see color. I couldn't be one of those people like that had to talk to a sketch artist and describe a person. I just don't see details like that, but I'm trying to add in the things that I can. Like Pandy had 2 stripes going down the side of her face, so I put those in. One of my friends once was like, did you draw those on there? Like, yeah, my cat let me sit still enough to draw on her face. But I love this. So I'm going to do doing the cat body, and then on the sides I'll do probably her dates. And I might just like write May and then 2004 to 2004 to 2019, something like that. And then I found a quote about a cat that I'm going to chart up and do on here. So this is my Pandy piece. Excited about having a way to remember her. I did get a little bit more done on the red and the black too. And I actually have a question for you guys. So I did it, and I picked up at Craft Gallery the contrast, and I'm using, it's just black DMC, and then I picked up Lagoon. And I mean, you can see that it's there, but it's not really very vibrant. Like looking back from far away, and I don't think the color really pops. So my question to you is, would you change it? I picked up this Mediterranean Sea, and the color's not real right here. It looks very blue on camera, and it's not. It's more like a teal turquoise. This was the color that I'm stitching it with now. Lagoon. You're not going to really be able to see. You can look them up. Or if you have them in your stash, tell me. Or should I change it to Mediterranean Sea? Because this one definitely pops more than this one. This is definitely more of a subtle. I don't know. I want something like, I'm just not sure I'm happy with it yet. I got a lot done on this. Better get working on it though, because it's a Stitch 9 challenge piece, and I have to finish it before the end of the year. I didn't get any Stitch 9 finishes in May. I was gonna try to finish Needlework ABCs, and I'm really close actually, but the lady's dress at the bottom is charted in Calico Kitty, and I'm doing that. I'm not doing the individual stitches and I thought that would help because it's very stark differences for mine, and it looks, I don't like it. Like her sleeves are completely different colors than her dress, and if I was doing individual stitches, it would be even more prevalent. So I have to change that. So I have no Stitch 9 challenge finish this month. This is Coffee Bean Sampler. Like I said, I will do every single one from the series, and I got a lot done on this. I think I only had like the first 2 rows done when I started this month. Stitching that on Old Mill Java by R&R. And then the piece that I really have put a lot into this month is When Skeletons Dance. I love this, and I'm so glad that I love it. I started it for Madness in 2018, and I messed up on this, like the shingles of the house up here, and I put it down and didn't touch it for over a year, and was so like not loving anything about it. And I'm so glad that I picked it back up and that it's like coming together the way it is. I love this piece. The house, and it's a 40 count, I think it's 40 count exemplar by Lakeside. It just feels nice. I don't know, I like the stitch, how it feels. And I got almost all of the tree in, so that now all I have to do is go down the side. I have to change the I, N, and S, and the pumpkins are in the wrong spot. I think the N and the S can stay, but I'm going to shift the I over because I did that wrong. But I think the rest is looking good, so I'm excited about this one. I'm hoping for a finish this year. But I keep starting things, so who knows how practical that really is. I did have one finish that was not a Maynia finish this year, and that is on Coffee is a Cup of Bliss. This is by Homespun Elegance. It's in a set of, I don't have the pattern in front of me, but it's in a set of patterns called Wine Is, Coffee Is, Tea Is. And they all are, I don't know if they all say Cup of Bliss. I don't know. Wine and tea are pretty similar, or coffee and tea are pretty similar. Wine might have something different. It did call to do like a backstitched outline in between here and here, but I didn't think it needed it. I like how it is finished. So, called for colors. Don't remember the fabric. I'll link it below. I'll write it below. So there's that. So those are what I've been working on. And then June 1st, I said I was going to talk about Diana again. Diana over at It Is Kismet and Amy Brooke on Instagram are starting the Magical Moth Sal, which is HL's Moth by Kathy Barrick. And I was like, okay, I'll join in. I don't have enough pieces started. I'll start something new because it's beautiful and I love it. And I think some of this is, you guys are so much my community right now that I don't really know that many people here, and so I'm like, ooh, if I can be connected to people by stitching things with them, I'm gonna join any sal that I can this year. Pretty much just gonna join in. So I started this yesterday, and I'm going to be using this as my 30-minute a day focus piece. So every day for 30 minutes, I'm gonna work on this until it's finished. I'm stitching it on 36 count ale by Fixture This Plus, and then I got it, Carlton ordered it for me at Craft Gallery. I went and I got a, I just stood at they have tons of floss. And so the Gentle Art section is my favorite. And so I just stood in front of the rack and I didn't even do like a conversion. Like I just looked at this pattern and was like, okay, what looks like that color? And went and picked something. Because I had seen this online before I purchased it, but I hadn't seen it like up close, and it looked like very silvery. And I pulled the NPIs the first day I was at Craft Gallery and was like, okay, I'll just do my conversion now. I'll pull the NPIs, and it was all like tans, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting grays and silvers and things. So I was like, this is going to be nerve-wracking because I'm not going to get it in until right before the sal starts, but I'm pretty happy with the color choices I picked. I got home and I tried to like compare it to the chart more, but I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to be winging it a little bit. So a couple people have asked me to send you the colors. I'll send you the colors. I don't have a symbol conversion yet because I'm doing it as I go. And it may not be a direct symbol to symbol conversion. It probably will, because I don't know that I'm ready to not do that, but I just don't know what colors I'm using for which symbols yet. I have a kind of a list. The one thing I didn't even notice, somebody asked me on Instagram, are you going to be seaming it? And I was like, what does that mean? I don't and I hadn't even looked at the pattern close enough to see that there are two seams running down the sides of it. And Kathy explains that the original pattern, because this is a reproduction, was done, and the girl that did it must not have had enough space, so she had to seam in the sides. I'm not doing that. It's just above my commitment, I guess. I don't know. It just stresses me out a little bit too much to think that I would stitch all that and then if I didn't know how to do it wrong. So I'm just doing it as one piece. Like I said, I'm doing it on 36 count Ale by Picture This Plus. So here's my start. This is 2 days worth of progress, 30 minutes a day, and I'm setting my timer, and I'm pretty much, I won't stop the thread I'm on. I'll finish the thread I'm on, but then I'm putting it down. And this isn't going for like my 24-hour challenge or anything like that. This is just my focus piece for June for now until it gets finished, which I'm hoping is before the 21st of June because I'm doing the Gnome Day Sal with Glenn, Southern Stitcher. So I have a gnome start planned for then that I'm hoping will take this spot. And then in July, I'm going to be doing the Sally Spencer Sal with Olivia over at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, which I already have started. So that one's, I'm cheating. Well, I'm not cheating. She said you could do it, but I'm not having to start something new, which is kind of exciting to me because I already have, this was a new start for June. I have the Gnome Day Sal, which will be a new start for June. I'm starting something new for 24 hours, and I have high tea. So that's 4 more starts for June. Oops. Magical Moth Sal on Instagram. Tons of people stitching it. Love seeing what everybody's doing. I am so glad I joined in with the fun. I've got this in my, it's a Halloween bag, but it's got the moth on it, so I decided, yes, that will work. I did find some moth fabric, though. We have, upstairs is a little bit of, crazy zone right now because we're trying to get all of the fabric that we've purchased organized, and with my back being the way it is the past couple days I haven't really been able to help. So we were cutting fabric. We decided instead of having like all of this fabric, we would start cutting it to size because we can have linings made, we can have this, like we figured out our system and what size we like our bags, and then we have like boxes for like the smaller pieces that aren't quite enough for a big bag that maybe we can make the smaller size bags for, which we'll figure out to do because I need one for my purse. And then we have, you know, boxes of fabric that's too small to do any of that with, but that I won't throw away because maybe someday I'll learn how to quilt. If anybody wants to teach me, I would like to learn. And I could do like the little piecing because I really, really love like the little tiny quilted piecings, like the little ones. So we have all of those, and then we have a bin that's like, you know, oh, this isn't big enough for bags, but we could use it for the backs of all of the 1,000 little things I've started this year. So there's that. Just all of the things. It's a mess upstairs. We're getting there. And so, you know, but my mom's anxious to get sewing again, but we don't want to start sewing and making bags until we have a spot to put them because, you know, her and I are pretty stocked on our bags right now. So we want to just be able to be kind of sharing, and we have, you know, giveaways for the 24 and things like that. And, you know, the 2 winners that are going to talk about what kinds they want, you know, we want it to be able to, us to be able to give a little bit with that. So I've lost my train of thought. Sal's, Magical Moth, Gnome Day, Birds of a Feather, Sally Spencer, July. I'm also, Michelle messaged me and Tina and was like, hey, Ink Circles is doing this map Sal where it's totally like, it's like D&D meets stitching. I mean, I've never really, I mean, I've played D&D. Like, I like to host when Brandon plays D&D. But I have like a little D&D, I'm a gnome. But it's like you're making a map, and so everybody's is different because I don't really understand how it's going to work, but I was like, yes, I'll do this. So that's starting, I think, June 24th. So that might be another start in June. I don't know if I'll actually get it started on time or if I'll just acquire all the pieces and then do it later. I'm not sure. But all of the Sals, I like them. I like doing them. Speaking of Sals, another thing. If you've made it this long, I do have an opportunity for you guys, and I would love to be able to share some stitching Sals with you. Fat Quarter Shop is going to be hosting a stitch along for this piece, which is the Stitcher hood. It is the Quaker flag. And it is a full kit. So it's got the Ada in it, it's got the colors in it, it's got a needle. It has everything you're going to need to stitch it. So I have a copy for you that I would like to give away. So if you are from the United States, I'm going to have this one be United States focus, but if you are from the United States and you're interested in this, I would like you to comment below with your favorite 4th of July tradition. And I will do the drawing on Saturday, or the June 8th is when I will pick the winner. So make sure you comment before then. It is the 2nd now, so you have all weeks to kind of be thinking about your 4th of July tradition, and I will get this in the mail to you to stitch for their Sal, which is going on. I got another one. I have so much going on, though. My mom is going to stitch this one. So she's going to start the Sal, and then I will update you with her progress here. So yeah, so there's your opportunity to jump in on the Sal action and get a Sal to join in. I think it's fun to join in with the Sals. I like the ones where everybody's stitching the same thing, but I also like the ones where it's like, just stitch on something like this. Speaking of stitching with people, 24 hours of stitching, monthly challenge has blown up. Everybody has been so phenomenal about this thing, like this month-long challenge that we're doing. It has been so much fun, like I said earlier, to see people's connections, what they're stitching, why they're stitching it. Clarifications for anybody that has made it this long into my video. You do not have to have a plan set in stone for this challenge. It can be fly by the seat of your pants if you want it to be. I like to have a plan. I might deviate from my plan, but you don't have to have a plan. All we are asking is that you pick a project for each letter in the word 24, and you pick one of our challenge options to stitch for either 24 minutes, 240 minutes, or 48 minutes if you want to count your time, or to pick to stitch for 120 stitches, 1200 stitches, or 2400 stitches if you want to count your stitches. They can change for each letter. You do not have to pick one that you're doing for all of them. Each letter is kind of its own challenge. If you complete all 10 with at least the lowest options, which is 24 minutes or 120 stitches, you will be entered into a giveaway. Right now we're doing a giveaway for a project bag that my mom will make. We'll determine more about that as we go. I have had a lot of people reaching out, so we have some more like prize options that are going to be going, so we may be adding, we might be doing 2 giveaways. We've got some needle minders that are going to be available from Imperfectly Perfect Stitcher. We've got bags from Cassandra Martinez, who is graciously going to donate some bags. We've got, I think, t-shirts maybe. We have more needle minders. I think Allison is going to be donating some needle minders. So we've got some goodies that we're going to be spreading around for both this and our 24-hour challenge. So thank you to everyone that was like, I want to give things for you to give away. It's awesome. And I'm excited to be able to share those things with you. So I did my plan. I'm not entering into the giveaway. I just wanted a challenge. So this month, June, my plan for stitching is 30 minutes a day on my Sal. So right now it's Moth Sal. If I finish it before Gnome Day, I'll pick something else to put into that 30-minute spot. It's not going to be one of these. I'm keeping that separate. But then the rest of these I'm trying to get through. I picked 2,400 stitches for all of them because I want to make some significant progress. We will see what I'm going to do. My first one for the T, I picked Ghoultide Welcome. And the reason I picked a Ghoultide Welcome, which is this, by Plum Street Samplers. I started this for Madness 2018. I went through, I have so many works in progress that I was struggling so hard to find my connections. Let me back up a minute. Struggling so hard because there was just so much to decide from. And I was like, I need a way to limit this. I need a way to figure out what I can work on. And so I had several ideas. I was going to just work on one piece. I was going to take Map at Hawk Ground Hollow, and I was going to figure out a way for it to fit every letter. And I did, because then I was like, I might actually be able to finish that. I don't know how far 2,400 stitches is going to get me, but I knew I would get bored. I can't. The way I am right now, I need to be jumping around. I like to be stitching on all sorts of things. So I looked at my whip wall, and like like I said, they're all color coded, and so the tan color all the way at that end on that corkboard is for my big ass projects. So I decided I was gonna make a list of those and then see how I could fit them into my letters, the acrostic. So, Ghoultide Welcome, I'm using for T because there are 24 windows in the house. So not only is it T, it's 24, which I was super excited about. I was like, oh, let me count the windows. Maybe it'll be, okay. I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I got started on this. I do have on, I think it's on my Instagram, a picture of where I started each, where I was at the start of each piece. This one I've worked on a bit. I've gotten about, I think just under 1,000 stitches in so far since yesterday. I'm doing this on 36 count, I think vintage sand dune. Might not be vintage, it might just be sand dune. Had a little bit of drama yesterday because I was off and I couldn't figure out how I was off because like I kept counting things and it was right, but I stitched the bird's legs wrong over on this bird over here. So I figured it out and I did some frogging. But I'm working on this one first. I will be using these pieces also for my challenge groups. You know, so if I can fit these in to do for all the groups that I'm in, I will. But I'm going to try to treat it like these are the 10 projects I have for the month and get as many things done with these as I can. So that was T. W, I pulled out Life After Death because of that whale, because I love the whale. And this is where I am on this one. But I did, like, I ironed these all and took pictures of them, so they're up and nice pictures. It's hard to show these in person or on camera. You're not in person. I'd rather you guys be in person. I'm stitching this. It's huge. On 40 count Days Gone by Silkweaver. It is really hard. I wish you could see the color. I'm doing it with Storm Clouds, and it is gorgeous. It is not in a black. It is like a greenish color. I love it. It's like greenish brownish. It's beautiful. So that's where I am on that one. This little back stitching portion here, oh my goodness, it took forever. It's so hard to see on the pattern. I need to just like take a highlighter and like highlight where it was because the lines were just like the slightest amount darker than the grid lines. So there was probably 1,000 mistakes in there. I will be highlighting or coloring the rest of them. For E, his eye is on the sparrow because of the eye. And I need to make some progress on this one because it's forever going to be a whip. Can't believe how much progress Emily made the month of May. Made me want to be a monogamous stitcher, but I'm not. So that's where I am on this one. We'll see what 2,400 stitches gets me. These were also neatly folded. My back's feeling better though, that's a good sign. Map of Hawk Run Hollow is N because of the N on the compass. And for north. I got a lot of, I actually worked on this one quite a bit during the month of May too, so I do have some progress to show on this. I'm doing this on a 36 count, no, 32 count, which is rare for me. 32 count country mocha? No, light mocha, not country mocha, light mocha. And I'm using the DMC. This one, a lot of people said that the DMC colors weren't like a true NPI conversion, and there may be areas that they aren't, and I'm one of the picky ones with like NPI conversions, but I've been pretty happy with the DMC on this so far. I think it's ringing pretty true to what I wanted it to be. I'll tweak as I go. I may change the watercolor because I think it's pretty green, and the pattern looks like standout blue, so maybe we'll see. There was something I was going to tell you about that. Oh, his eyes on the sparrow was on a 36 count buttercream by Lakeside. And a Forest Grew. Started this for Mania. No, I keep saying there's all these M words. Madness 2019. I'm stitching this on 36 count flax. just with the DMC. That's what it's called for and charted in. There are 1,500 colors. I'm excited to work on this more. I really like this piece, and I was really not looking for, I didn't love the flax. And so I was like, this was my nerve-wracking start. Like, I'm starting this huge piece and I'm not going to like it. And I really do. I like it a lot. There's somebody on Instagram, though, that's doing it on a dark color that is just stunning. And it does make me, like, stop every time I see it. Like, oh, should I restart? I'm not going to restart. I like it on this. But I love the people that are, like, brazen enough to do that. All creatures great and small is Y for yellow jacket, because there's a B up here. I don't know if the yellow jacket. It is in my head. I'm stitching this on 40 count sand dune. Not the same piece. I don't know why I have two sand dunes. I don't know what I got this for. All creatures great and small. I got some more done on this in May too. I didn't have the lady done. I'd only worked on it during Madness, so I'm excited to see that one grow. It's so funny, the different fabric sizes. Like, I thought these were all huge. I mean, they are all huge, but they're, you know, his eyes on the sparrow is like massive, massive, and that's not as massive. I've been talking for over an hour. Thank you to anyone that's still tuning in. F is for a start that I haven't done yet. And it's my high tea plan start for this month. But I realized that high tea starts on... High tea will be on literally the last day of the month, because the last Sunday is on June 30th. So I think I might have to start this the Friday of Off the Grid instead, which is I'm going to do Let Freedom Ring by Lila's Studio. I miss Philly, you know, so I'd like to have this up somehow. I'm nervous though, and I need some feedback from you guys, because the house the building is all in Calico Kitty, which is what I'm struggling with for needlework ABCs, and so I'm nervous about it. So if you've stitched this, or if you're stitching it and you've changed it, can you let me know? Because I don't want to have to do individual stitches for all of those, and I don't like how I don't know, just let me know. I really like this piece. I don't have my linen yet. I'm not sure what I'm stitching it on. I think my mom's going to stitch too, and we're going to do another little saddle together. O is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, because of the owls. So I restarted this. I think I showed it the last time, because I had started it for Madness and didn't love it on Mink, and I had it on 35 count Mink. This is 36 count Autumn Gold, which is what I did the Christmas cubes on. And I love this so much more, and I'm doing a conversion that I did to Gentle Arts for the thread. I can't wait to get back to that one. U is a new start for me too. This was my other new start in May, because now is June. Yeah, last month was May. I am doing this because of the U in Saviors, because I never remember how I'm supposed to spell that word, and the U throws me every single time. So that is why I'm stitching this for you, and I love this piece. I made a mistake when I started it and didn't get very far because I had to rip out most of it. I am stitching this on 36 count cedar plank, and I love it. It's very pretty, and the colors just pop on it. I'm using DMC, not Anchor. Excited to put some stitches in on that. And then Serenity Harbor, because this massive that's upside down. Serenity Harbor, this massive thing has to be done. I love it. It's beautiful. Doing it with the DMC. I'm doing it on 40 count Lambswool. I have stitched on this since I showed you last, I think. Although maybe not. I'm not sure. That might be a lie. I'm excited to get to the full coverage part of this, though. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to. I don't know how far 2,400 stitches is going to get me. I think that's the neat thing. I like seeing how these pieces will grow through the month. I'm not going to work in order necessarily. I'm going to kind of skip around as I go. You know, again, if I can use it for the other challenges that I'm in, I'm going to. My mom was like, "Are we allowed to?" I was like, "Well, it's kind of our rules." Like you can't, in the groups, the challenge groups, you can't stitch, use the same thing for more than one thing, but this is a completely different group. And so originally I wasn't going to, but I don't have that much time. I mean, I have a lot of time to stitch, but I don't have that much time. So, looking at my list, just making sure I'm sure I forgot things. 24 hours of cross stitches this weekend, starting Friday at 4 p.m., running Eastern Standard Time, running until Sunday at 4 p.m. because you have 48 hours to stitch 24 hours or as much as you can. We're just encouraging stitching. Again, it's not a mandatory 24 hours to be considered. I do have a giveaway bag from Fat Quarter Shop that we'll be doing, and we'll be announcing some other giveaways. My mom and I are going to be figuring out a way to donate to, we've decided we want to do like a crisis center, something that's open 24 hours that provides like support for community. We're hoping to find a local spot for us here. So we're not going to be like doing a joint donation thing with anybody, but we would encourage you that if you have some place in your community that you can donate to try to think of a way that you can do that. It could be monetarily. You could make a pledge that you're going to donate for however many hours that you stitch. It could be like taking over donuts, like to a firehouse, and just giving back to people, giving them coffee, giving them, letting them know that you're supporting what they're doing for the community. And so that's what we're gonna do. I know there were people last month that donated to Bendy Stitchy's fundraisers and things like that. We're just not quite ready to be like taking joint donations, but if there's a way that you can make the 24 hours give back, do it. We're gonna try to. So we'll have more on that before Friday, but it's just snuck up on me. It's like, can't believe it's Friday. I am doing a new start. I've decided that I'm gonna be doing Time Enough by Kathy Barrick. I'm starting one project and I'm going to work on it to see as far as I can get. I think I'm going to be stitching it on 36 count AL because I got a huge piece from Craft Gallery. They know me now. Like when I go in, they're like, just go look at the linen, Jen. You can go behind the table and just look. I'm like, thank you. I look and then I'm just like, okay, I'll take this whole piece. I'll cut it. I'll use it for something because God knows I have enough that still isn't started yet that I want to start and want to stitch. And I hope that you guys are finding peace and comfort in stitching. It's one thing, I was hesitant with the monthly challenge that I didn't want to stress anyone out with it. I don't want this to be a stressful thing. If it's bringing you stress, stop. It should be your calm. And honestly, we have had so many great questions, so much feedback already from this. But it's really open-ended. It's as long as you're doing the minimum on each letter, you're good. I'm going to be looking into making a Google Excel sheet just so that there's a way for you to see to make sure that I've connected that you're doing this with us, because there are people that are doing it on Facebook. Those are easier to see, but there's also people that are just emailing and are on Instagram or something. So I want to be able to have a way that that I know that you're in and working on this. We will be checking towards the end of the month with your progress. To be entered for giveaways, you do have to complete at least the lowest on each of the challenges. But again, remember, if you've pledged to do 2,400 stitches like me and the month gets away from you and you can't, you can change your goal. You don't have to, you're not set in only doing it if you meet that goal. I know, I shoot high. I might not get there. I'll be happy with 1,200 stitches on each of these. I'm going to try for 2,400 though, because I wanted to challenge myself. You need to pick your level of challenge. What's going to be a challenge for your stitching style? People have more time. People have less time. People, you've got other things going on. I get that. Just make this our hope is that it encourages you to find your calm, to find your place. For me, that's stitching. Maybe it's not for you. Don't make it be if it's not. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be like me. Trust me, you don't want to be like me. I think that's everything. This might be my longest video yet. Again, I'm going to pop in and give some more details about 24 hours. thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone that is part of the 48 or the community on Facebook. Has been so much fun. We're at almost 1,000 members. I can't believe it. You guys, you just are blowing me away with this. People are getting like hotel rooms to do the marathon. Like, it's just so cool that you are finding this fun, and thank you for embracing the things that people that know me in real life think I'm nuts for. So I love stitching with you guys. I love being able to share this with you. Going to make it a little more regular because today's video was a little bit ridiculous, and I apologize for anyone that I forgot, anything that I have left out. Know that I am so appreciative, and your thoughts, your everything have just been what is getting me through when life throws its little curves like it keeps throwing. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that's it. I'm gonna stop now. If there's more, I'll come in and Brandon will edit it in. Brandon's joining in on the 24-hour monthly challenge too, so it's been fun to kind of be doing some more stitching with him. I told him yesterday, I was like, you stitch like I video game. Like, you video game and you can do it for hours and hours and hours and do all these things and talk to me about it, and I'm like, I don't understand anything you're saying, and you know, sure, put something on my computer and I'll play, and then I'll last for like 10 minutes and then I'm like, okay, goodbye. And that's how he is with stitching. Like, just like we need a joint like computer craft room so that we can both be doing our things together. But I'm so glad that he has embraced some of this craziness and joins in and is a part of this community too. And thank you to all of you that comment about his stuff, because it's fun and it's something, you know, that we share. So we are looking to start a board game channel too, so I will be, hopefully in the next month or so that life has calmed down, we're hoping to get that kind of rolling. So that's another facet of our life that I don't talk a whole lot on in here, but we'll see. We have some goals, we have some things we'd like to do. So keep stitching. Be back for 24 hours. If you have questions, comments, anything like that, just let me know. If you are interested in the giveaway for the Sal that the Fat Quarter Shop is doing, please just comment below with your favorite 4th of July tradition open to people in the United States 18 or older, and I will get this out to you running until the 8th. And I think that's it, guys. So keep stitching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.